Hey guys, Max Scoville here. This week sees the release of The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Enhanced Edition, which is an interesting game to try and review because it already came out on PC, the bulk of it anyway, about a year ago. However, this is The Witcher's first foray into console territory. I have personally been kind of curious about this game ever since somebody sent me this Polish issue of Playboy featuring Triss Merigold, who is The Witcher's main squeeze in the game series. Now, obviously, that's kind of a stupid reason to want to play a game, but hey, I'm a console gamer. Sometimes we're kind of stupid. Now, here's the thing, though. This is my first experience with The Witcher. I haven't played anything on PC, and I'm just jumping into it totally cold. Full disclosure, I have not played the entire game. I've sunk about 12 hours into it, so if calling this a proper review bugs you, call it something else. Anyway, first and foremost, The Witcher 2 doesn't dumb itself down, for better or for worse. As somebody who didn't play the first game, I found myself feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the density of the game's lore. If you got the patience, it would probably be worth playing the first game to get up to speed, but if not, pay attention and you should be able to piece things together okay. Geralt of Rivia, the game's amnesiac hero, is a witcher, or a mutated human, who gets framed for regicide by another of his kind, and is subsequently forced to clear his name. Along the way, of course, a lot of other epic fantasy RPG stuff happens. Without spoiling anything, I will say that the plot does a really good job of re-examining fantasy tropes. A big problem in the Kingdom of Temeria is race relations. Non-humans like dwarves and elves are treated like second-class citizens, and since he's questionably human himself, Geralt is in a precarious position. In terms of gameplay, The Witcher 2 takes some getting used to. Once you get the hang of it, the combat is pretty engaging, and one of the Enhanced Edition's enhancements is an all-new tutorial at the beginning of the game, which explains the basics, but really doesn't get too in-depth with them. The game doesn't do the player a whole lot of favors in terms of accessibility, and while the menu system has been tweaked for consoles, it still feels pretty clunky compared to other recent RPGs. While a good deal of The Witcher 2's gameplay will be familiar to fans of action RPGs, a few parts will probably take players by surprise. For instance, potions can only be taken while meditating, which can't be done during battle. This seems kind of counterintuitive to the core ideals of video game potion theory, but once you figure it out, it does add a layer of strategy. On a less interesting note, doors cannot be opened and ledges cannot be climbed during combat, which doesn't really add anything. Graphically, The Witcher 2 shines. Yes, obviously it's going to look better on a PC, but that's beside the point. Between the refreshingly dynamic cutscenes and the intricately detailed Kingdom of Temeria, I was never disappointed visually. How the visuals and the controls work together, on the other hand, isn't always the tightest. Trying to interact with an NPC will often result in looting a nearby chest if you're not positioned properly, and the camera can get a little weird while locking onto enemies during combat. Considering that The Witcher 2 is a Polish game, I was impressed by the English writing and voice acting. It's not always the greatest, but it has a ton of personality, which is something I think is frequently missing from massive RPGs. There's a lot of cursing and sex, and there's even some public urination. All that totally appeals to the dumb adolescent in me, but to back up the puerile stuff, The Witcher actually exhibits some surprisingly mature storytelling. The game's lore also expands far beyond the video game realm. It's based on a series of fantasy novels and short stories that have since been turned into movies, comics, and a TV show, so if you like what the game has to offer, there's way more where that came from. The gameplay in The Witcher 2 can be frustrating and tedious from time to time, but if you're into epic fantasy RPGs, the story should be more than enough to hold your attention. Once you get the hang of the combat, it's really quite enjoyable, and if nothing else, you certainly get your money's worth in terms of content. We're talking maybe 30 or 40 hours of gameplay. If you've got an Xbox 360 and The Witcher 2 seems like something you might like, give it a whirl. PC gamers who haven't checked it out already, now's the time to do so, and to those who bought the PC version's original release, CD Projekt Red is giving you the enhancements for free. The Witcher 2 is an ambitious project, and in spite of its shortcomings, I feel like it has a lot to offer, and if nothing else, it has easily the best sex scenes I've seen in a video game. Oh, so anyway, yeah, that's The Witcher 2 Enhanced Edition. It's a really cool game. I really like it, I enjoy it, I intend to play the rest of it. I actually kind of want to go check out the books. I saw somebody say this is the best BioWare game they've played ever, which is kind of a pity because BioWare had nothing to do with it, but it's an epic fantasy RPG, and it's pretty fun, so go check it out. Anyway, I'm Max Scoville for Rev3 Games. You can subscribe to our channel right here for more video game related content. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Max Scoville, and the official Rev3 Games account is at Rev3 Games. I'll see you guys later.